Boys, today we're gonna be taking a look at how different countries around the world probably drive their cars and what cars they might drive. So let's go ahead and hop right into it and start it off with who other than the USA. Now for the USA, obviously you have to go with something American made, and I was thinking of a muscle car, but then it dawned on me, I feel like a lot more Americans enjoy their Ford trucks than they do their muscle cars. So we definitely want to pick the biggest, most obnoxious truck possible. This'll do. And then we want to go ahead and put a super loud engine into it, like maybe a racing V8 would do. For sure, you gotta make sure you have the biggest tires possible, and then throw yourself on a patriotic paint job that covers every inch of the car, and now you're good to get on the road. Once you're on the road, it's important that you burn as little or as much fuel as possible by constantly redlining, and then you just have to drive pretty much like you have no regard for anyone else on the road, and you can go ahead and call yourself an American. Let's go ahead and hop into the next ones here. Next, we're gonna take a look at the Australians, and we could go look at some Australian-made cars such as the Holden, but I think it's a bit more fitting if we go find something off-road for them to use. So we want to find something that's going to handle very well, go through brush, great, and I think the Trail Cat might be our guy for the job. Now, you don't have to concern yourself a whole lot with the upgrades, but it would be nice to just make the tires a little bit bigger so that they can handle going over rocks and everything a little better, and then give yourself a little bit bigger rims, because why not? Then once you've done that, you want to go ahead and check your suspension and make it as loose as possible so you can go over those boulders no problem. Now it's important to go ahead and find somewhere that's gonna have a lot of bush and rocks for you to go through, and I think our best bet might be climbing up a volcano. Once you get there, you take a look around, make sure there's no police officers, and then you can go ahead and rip right through the tundra, up the mountain, in your perfect off-roading vehicle, and not really worry so much about all the bushes you hit and any scratches you might get, because you don't care for the paint job a whole lot. Once you hit the top, it's always important to find your way back down. And don't worry, if you hit the trees, you're in a very built tough vehicle with a nice sturdy roll cage that's gonna be able to protect you so you can have a safe, fun journey down. For the most part, that is. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the next country. And for the next country, we're taking a look at Canada. If there's one thing Canadians love, it's their all-wheel drive vehicles, because they can handle in the snow better than most other cars, and if you didn't know, Canada has a lot of snow. So what better all-wheel drive Subaru than a nice Impreza WRX STI? Now, since you are going to be winter driving it, it's important to put your winter tires on. Go ahead, make them a little bit bigger too so that you can get as much traction as possible. Wouldn't be a terribly bad idea to make them wider as well, as that can also help. When it comes to the suspension, you do want to indeed be higher off the ground, so a rally suspension might actually be your best bet. Some Canadians can be crazy about their tunings, but from my experience, most don't care so much. So we're gonna leave that alone as it is, and we're also gonna leave it this nice blue color. But if there's one thing Canadians love doing, it's tinting their windows as dark as possible, yes, even if it's not allowed, to make sure they don't get caught doing stuff inside their car, like going on your phones. Now, once you're on the road in your perfect winter driving car, you're gonna notice it's not even winter, but now you have this car, so you're gonna drive very politely, very cautiously, look both ways, and not get in too much trouble. You're gonna be very conscious about how much you redline, because if you live in Canada, gas is about $1 million a liter right now. So you're gonna drive safe, respectfully, and get to your destination in one piece. Now, our next country. If you couldn't guess by who we're gonna be taking a look at, it is Italy. And I know it might be stereotypical, but can you blame me? They do make the car, and the car in question is the Ferrari. You must pick a sexy, red Ferrari, and in this case, we're gonna look at the 488. Now, once you are in your Ferrari, you want to stay as far away from customizing, upgrading, or defacing your Ferrari in any way, shape, or form as to stay out of legal issues with them, because although you own the car, you do not own the rights to modify the car or logo in any way, shape, or form. That being said, it is very important you pick the correct shade of red, as there are several to choose from at any given time. And once you have your selected red, make sure you know the exact shade it is, so when you're asked, you can go into great detail about it. Now that you've got your beautiful Ferrari painted and all picked out just how you'd like it, you have to drive it as fast as possible. And hey, who cares if you redline, because obviously you can afford the gas, and all you have to do is just try and break speed records and not get caught by the cops. And this is likely how Ferraris are driven by Italians, as well as the car that they all would like to pick. Let's go ahead and hop into our last choice. Now for our last country, we're gonna go across the pond from North America once again to Toyotas, and we're gonna go to the home of Toyotas and a little bit of Japan action. And what better car to pick than a Toyota GT86? Now, once you have your Toyota GT86, it's very important that you put on the stuff that makes it look the coolest. Definitely you want a front wing on there, the biggest spoiler humanly possible, a dumpy of a rear bumper, and just make it look a little lower to the ground because you guys have nice roads, why not? Head on over to your rims and pick something out that's pretty deep dish and is gonna look very nice. Honestly, these will work fine. Slap all that on. Then you want to head to fine tune your car, and you want to make sure you have it slammed to the ground, as this will be very important later. But before we get to that, you have to make sure you have a beautiful paint job on your car that's going to draw all eyes. And what better than an anime livery? Once you have all that on, your car's ready to drive, but you're not going to drive it normally. In fact, you are gonna go ahead and drive it as sideways as possible in the form of drifting. And what better car to drift in than the Toyota GT86? With a beautiful anime livery, you absolutely cannot go wrong. Anyways, boys, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. If you made it all the way through to the end, let me know down below. If I missed your country, let me know which one that is and what kind of car you think it would like. As always, we'll see you boys in the next one. I'm out. Oh, peace.